Hello, hello. Thank you so much for tuning in. We are finally back in the building. It's been a long time. We even got Harpo with us too. Look at that. He's back in the building as well. October feels like it was a little bit of a blur. I was in Mexico for half of the month, and then when I got back, Sherene was gone. So
oh my God, I know we could not connect.
We just couldn't connect. So I do feel like we've got a little catching up to do. Let's kind of get back on track. That's kind of where we're at.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about a couple things that are happening right now so that we can kind of get back into what's happening right now and get a little bit more connected to the current transits and things that are coming up as well. So,
yeah.
Sherene.
Getting back on track is the perfect way to illustrate what's happening right now in the stars, because we're right on the precipice. Well, first of all, tomorrow's the election, of course, so we're all feeling this weird sense of the unknown and the uncertain and like what's going to happen. And as we're making this video, actually, it's a first quarter moon in Aquarius. So it's a really powerful time because we're entering, before the full moon, we're entering this cycle where there's a new surge of Aquarius energy coming in, because we're going to have Mars, which rules our energy and
taking action.
Yeah, action is moving into Aquarius tomorrow on election day. So it's like today's part one, tomorrow's part two, and then, and then to be continued. But we don't know what it is, but we have this feeling of like, because Aquarius is kind of this like X factor.
Right. I was going to say, what are Aquarius themes? Like, how can people relate to Aquarius?
Yeah, Aquarius is always kind of like the quirky, like X factor energy. And it has a lot to do with like rebelling against the status quo and the typical norm of doing things the way it's always been done. Especially if you believe that in modern astrology that Aquarius is ruled by Uranus instead of Saturn, but we have to look at the co-rulership. So sometimes Aquarians can be on the conservative side, and sometimes they can just totally surprise you. So I think we're all feeling that's part of this uncertainty energy that we're talking about. And
anything could happen.
Anything could happen. So we're kind of feeling on edge, I think, right now. And going back to maybe more of the pragmatic potential of Aquarius, it's the sign that really helps us get into alignment with our life goals and our long-term goals, like our 5, 10, 20-year plan. Right. So this is an amazing time to really look at, okay, so what is it I want to be doing long-term? Who do I want to be doing it with? Because Aquarius also rules our tribe or our community or the team that we're on, like our crew. So it's important to look at, like, are you with people that really like share your vision, share your values? And if not, I think we're going to be putting a lot of energy and work into getting the right people around us, the right team around us to support our long-term goals.
Yeah, that really resonates, even with me and some of the moves that I'm making right now in the world of SoFit in our community, and just what we're really doing to try to really tighten up our squad and to attract the right team members as well. And so it is really cool to hear you say that from an astrological perspective, because that's
already what's happening.
That's what's happening. Yeah. So can you fill us in a little bit on how that all ties in with Scorpio season? Because we're definitely in Scorpio season.
Yeah,
thanks
for bringing that up. Yeah. Okay, totally. So. This is, the obvious, but so Scorpio has so much to do with our deep desires and our passion, and also what we have to transform from a lower form to a higher form. Ultimately, it's like going into the deep, dark shadow work and letting go on such a deep level that we like from anything. Okay, so we relinquish our fears, we relinquish any kind of deep, dark insecurities, and then there's this potential for a rebirth. Like you all often hear, like Scorpio rising from the ashes, the phoenix symbol of rising from the ashes. So that's definitely going on right now. As we had the new moon in Scorpio last week. Now we're in the we're in the first quarter phase in Aquarius, and then next week is going to be the supermoon.
It's a supermoon.
The full moon supermoon in Taurus, which we'll talk about. So we're at the first quarter today as we're making the video. And because it's in the sign of Aquarius, it's really underscoring this idea of using the Scorpio energy of transformation. And I mean, that's a word that's overused a lot. Think of it more like how you transmute energy actually from something that's a lower form that keeps you stuck in ruts, which is the shadow, the polarity of Scorpio is to be really stuck in the comfort zone. How do you transmute that energy or transform it into a higher form that ultimately liberates you? Which is Aquarius. Aquarius is more about the freedom that comes from getting out of these deeply ingrained ruts and attachments and emotional patterns that keep us from really being more experimental, more innovative,
breaking status quo.
Yeah, breaking the status quo. So you could think of, okay, so you just helped me. So this is the week of breaking your emotional status quo.
Ooh, I like that.
And just breaking the status quo in general,
Yeah.
I think is a big theme right now.
Yeah, that's
breaking out of
awesome.
our own ruts and preparing for this full moon in Taurus. How do we, and using the Scorpio energy to go deep enough to really break free.
Wow. So it sounds like there's definitely a really great opportunity for us to get under to get over, right?
Yes,
Go in, go
yeah.
under, go deep, go dark, and then
Yes.
we can really hopefully take ourselves to the next level.
Go deep or go home.
Yeah, go deeper, go home. Yeah, exactly. And then also an opportunity to really kind of look at squad goals, right?
Yeah.
Like literally squad
Yeah.
goals, right? And just and the goals that we want to make with the tribe, who we want to do it with.
Who we want to do it with, how we want to
And
do
really
it.
planning those seeds for, you know, the end of the year, basically.
Oh,
I love
yeah.
that it works out perfectly
Me
with
too.
just the end of the year. Because I've already been talking about that in classes too. Like, all right, let's think about what we're trying to do now
Yeah.
for 2017
Yeah.
instead of getting to January and then, you know, quitting this or starting that. It's like, no, let's talk about that now. Let's really get that into
We're all on the
alignment.
long-term trajectory
Yeah.
right now, and you may feel like the surge of energy that's really propelling you forward to take action, where you might have felt a little like in this weird holding pattern. In October, like we said, it was a big blur, and we were dealing with so much emotional stuff with Mars and Pluto and
And that full moon in
Capricorn,
Aries.
and yeah, that full moon in Aries took us out. So it's like we finally are getting some ground back, I think, and it's like, okay, now what is the long-term
Yeah.
vision, goals, wishes? Like this card, which is so funny, we didn't plan this, but it's just sitting on my
It was the one
coffee
facing
table,
up, yeah.
and this is the archetype for Aquarius, which is the star card. So you could wish upon your lucky star this week, and in order to really bring your wishes, your deepest wishes to fruition, you have to be willing to let go of your old outworn patterns
Yeah.
and ways of doing things.
I love that, your old outworn patterns.
Yeah.
It's so true.
They gotta go.
Yeah, they gotta go.
They gotta go.
All right, looks like we always have some work to do.
Always.
So keep digging and stay tuned because we got a full moon video coming up next.
That's right.